Hi, this is Michael William Denny of ThunderShamanism.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about what I call shamanic enlightenment. And what does that mean? So, when I throw out the word enlightenment in general, what comes to mind for you? The idea of somebody sitting on a mountaintop, the idea of somebody who has no feelings or desires, somebody who has no problems, somebody who's no longer human. What are some of the things that come to your mind? Because there's a lot of people out there preaching enlightenment or, advertising that they share enlightenment. But the shamanic perspective of enlightenment for me is much more fun, and it's much more realistic. So in short, what I call shamanic enlightenment, I also call waking up in the dream. The shamanic understanding of this universe that we live in is that it is a dream, and that we are literally dreaming ourselves. And so the question is whether or not the dream is dreaming you, or whether or not you are dreaming the dream. So that's what we learn in this shamanic practice that I give them. The main goal, all the stuff that we do, the energy work, the divination work, the mantra, the meditation, all the stuff that we do and we study are really tools. They're not ends in and of themselves. This is one very important thing that I learned. Let me give you an example. I trained with a couple of energy masters. These were Qigong masters. These were people that had tremendous amounts of power. They could heal people with a touch. They could project all kinds of energy. They could leave their body. They could do all kinds of really intense, powerful stuff. Some things that I learned from them and was able to accomplish myself. But what I found out is that they were actually very unhappy people. And I actually had the misconception that, especially when I was going after spirit fighting, which is probably the most powerful energetic practice I've ever experienced. It gives you all kinds of power to not only, defend yourself physically, but you can cleanse a space. I've walked into rooms where people have gotten up and just ran out because, they had negative entities attached to them, and the energy was so frightening to them they had to get out of the room. This kind of power. But it doesn't make me happy. This is what I found out. It didn't make me happy. I thought that if I could master this, I'd become a perfected immortal and, achieve all kinds of blah, 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 and then I'd be happy. But I found that the masters that I trained with weren't that happy. In fact, their lives were very chaotic. They had all kinds of drama going on in their lives. And so it didn't matter how much power they had. It didn't make them happy. It's like bodybuilder. You can be, as big as whomever, whoever the biggest bodybuilder is, Lou Ferrigno or, whoever. You can be as big as those guys and still be unhealthy, unhappy, miserable, and have all kinds of drama in your life. So this is the idea of shamanic enlightenment, is that these tools are really helpful because they open up your awareness to, how malleable this three-dimensional life is. It's very changeable. And a shaman has all kinds of power to change reality in all kinds of different ways. But there's still one main thing that has to happen in order to achieve what I call shamanic enlightenment, which is to wake up within the dream. If you've ever practiced lucid dreaming, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The lucid dreamer has the ability to wake up in the dream and then to change the dream. They can just decide to fly or, whatever it is. This is shamanic enlightenment. You wake up within the dream, and then you have power to determine your life, what your life is going to be. Now, there is one caveat, because there's one thing that we can't change, and that is what I call your soul desire and your soul purpose. Your soul desire is what you've decided before you were born that was going to be the main thing that was going to give you the greatest happiness. Now for me, my soul desire, surfing. That gives me the most happiness in my life. When I surf, everything aligns itself. Physically, I get into tremendous health. Emotionally, I'm in tremendous health. and just life goes a lot more smoothly because it's my deepest desire. And I believe that that was given to me by, myself before I was incarnated. And then there's my soul purpose. My soul purpose is exactly what I'm doing right now, to be teaching these shamanic practices to people and to empowering them. Now, when I practice my soul purpose and I practice my soul desire, I have the ability to decide what my life is going to be. And in fact, my girlfriend said this to me. She said this to me. It was amazing to her. She said, you say that you want to have something happen, and then all of a sudden it happens. She says, you're not just wishing, about something. You're actually creating it every time you do that. And the reason why is because of that. I know exactly what my soul desire is, and I know exactly what my soul purpose is. And as long as I'm doing that, I'm in balance with myself, and the universe serves me. But the other thing that's great about it is I know exactly what I want. There's a lot of people running around, practicing the secret. They think if you focus on becoming a billionaire that you'll become a billionaire, and then they don't become billionaires, and they wonder what's wrong and why their life. Well, that's because being a billionaire is not their sole desire or their sole purpose. Having $1 billion means nothing. You could be a billionaire and still die miserable and in pain and sad and, unhappy. So shamanic enlightenment is a science of learning how to align yourself with your soul desire and your soul purpose. And then when you do that, you know exactly what to wish for. And you get it. And this is what enlightenment is. It's not about being detached and not having any feelings and, all that kind of stuff. It just means living a balanced life with no chaos, with no craziness. Now, it doesn't mean you won't go through personal lessons. Of course you will. Living in this world is, in and of itself is a video game. So we're going to learn. That means we're going to bump into issues and problems and have challenges. But the great thing is that, it's very easy to work through those challenges once you know your personal path. And then again, you decide. You know intuitively what is going to make you happy. If you think right now that having a 10-room mansion with 20 servants is going to make you happy, I'm willing to bet you're probably not in connection with your soul desire, your soul purpose. You're over, extending yourself, trying to make yourself safe, thinking if I have enough stuff. Well, once you're on this shamanic path of balance and awareness, you can be incredibly happy with whatever it is that your soul desire is. Maybe it's just a one-bedroom house. Maybe it's a studio apartment. Maybe it's living, on the beach. Maybe it is living in a mansion. I don't know. It could be any of these things. But once you have this information and you're on it, then you can achieve your greatest desires and be really happy and healthy for the rest of your life. This is shamanic enlightenment. Waking up within the dream and then controlling it. So, for those of you who haven't heard, I'm sure you have, I've been talking about it a lot. I'm looking for 5 apprentices. So, if you want to learn how to master this incarnation, to master this life, that is probably the fastest way to do it. Becoming an apprentice means that you meet with me once a week, either by phone, by Skype, or in person. And that just by being my apprentice, you're going to have free access to over $1,100 worth, I believe. I looked it up. $1,100 worth of all of my DVDs, which I'm going to have private links for all of my apprentices that they can click on. And even if you decide to stop working with me after a while, you still have access to all of those DVDs that you've been given access to for infinity. I'm also going to be giving you astrological reports. Anyway, there's tons of benefits. Just by being my apprentice, you're going to save $3,000 and give you access to all kinds of stuff with me. So anyway, there's all kinds of stuff we could go on and on. Click on the link below for apprenticeship. I highly recommend Celestial Qigong. That's the most powerful thing that I've ever taught. It gives you tremendous power, and that power helps you in terms of creating your dream and mastering your dream. And anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and email me or contact me. So that's it for now.